Let's take a look at interfaces in Java. An interface is a class-like construct that contains only constants and abstract methods. In many ways, an interface is similar to an abstract class, but its intent is to specify common behavior for objects of related classes or unrelated classes. In this example, I've already created the interface demo class that contains our main method, which will be the entry point to our program. Let's start by declaring an interface. So we use the word interface, and we're gonna do editable. Okay, and then we're gonna create an abstract string. We'll call it eat. Okay, and semicolon. So basically here, we're going to create this abstract string eat method that we're going to implement later in each class that we create. Um, One thing to note here is that usually these have access modifiers like public, but for this example, we're going to skip the access modifiers just so that we can keep it all in one Java file, just for readability. Next, let's create an abstract class that we will use to inherit in our classes. So let's go ahead and create an abstract animal class. Okay, we forgot the keyword here, class. All right, and then here this will also be abstract, so that will leave the implementation again to the classes that extend animal. So let's do string again, and then we'll just say sound. So right, animals make sounds, so we'll go ahead and that's one of the behaviors that we want to add. Okay, now let's make a concrete class. So class, let's say chicken, and we want to extend, right? We want to inherit from animal, so we're inheriting the sound string method, and we want to also implements the editable methods and anything that would be associated with that interface. Okay, now here we can use our IDE to help us quickly add these methods that must be overwritten. Okay, we're going to go ahead and erase these extra method stubs here. Okay, so these eat and sound have to be overwritten because we are extending and or implementing them. So chicken, for example, we will print out something, it'll return a string. So let's say it's chicken, uh, fry it. Okay, and then for sound, let's um, let's go ahead and do the cock-a-doodle-doo. So for sound, let's go ahead and return chicken, cock, doodle, do. Okay. Okay, so here's an example then of a class chicken that extends animal but implements the editable interface. Okay, so the great thing here too is that we can use editable to in other classes that aren't related to each other. So for example, we can create a completely new abstract class. We can call it fruit, which implements edible, and then we go ahead and we can leave that empty because it's just a class, an abstract class. but we can create a concrete class such as pair that extends fruit. Okay, and now because our abstract class fruit implements edible, pair also inherits those methods. So let's go ahead and have our ID help us here. So the method here is eat, which was up here in edible interface. Okay, so now we decide how we're going to implement that. So maybe we return the string that's a pair eat with cheese. All right, let's go ahead and save that. Now we can create our objects here. So these are all returning strings. So let's go ahead and create our chicken object and our pair object. So let's do chicken, and we'll just say chicken is equal to new chicken. All right, and then we'll do pair is equal to new pair. Okay, and then let's call system.out.print, and then chicken dot eat, and then we'll give some space here, and chicken dot sound. All right, and now we'll do the next line, system print. All right, and then we have a pair. We have pair dot eat. Now the thing here is that pair doesn't have a sound method, so we don't need to implement that. So let's go ahead and run and see what that prints. Okay, here we can see chicken, fry it, chicken, cock-a-doodle-doo, and pair, eat with cheese. Okay, so that's an easy example of how to create an interface for the behaviors that we want, and the abstract class, and they're very similar, but their functions are just a little different. And we have the chicken class that extends animal but implements edible, and that we have to override those methods, right? So eat is the implemented method that we're overriding from edible interface. And then we can reuse edible. So the code is all about reusability. So edible can be reused for unrelated classes such as fruit. And then here we have pair is extending fruit, which is implementing edible. So that's why we have access to eat again. Okay, and then each class, so us as class designers make the determination of how we want to implement. Okay, and that's a quick example of interfaces and abstract classes in Java.